Hey watchers, what's going on? Will here with a Godzilla-centric video for you, and today we take the phrase size doesn't matter into account because we will be looking at how the Godzillas have sort of evolved from the present to the past. So, starting with Godzilla Earth of the upcoming, well, released in Japan at least, Planet of the Monsters film, who exists as the result of over 20 millennia of evolution as a hyper-evolved plant-based organism. He has grown to a current height of 300 meters, which is almost 1,000 feet tall, and weighs a whopping 100,000 tons. He is by far the biggest and possibly most powerful Godzilla due to his size alone, but also due to the nature of his power, so I don't expect us seeing him in any verses anytime soon. Next is the Godzilla of the 2016 Shin Godzilla film that is an asexual prehistoric marine animal mutate. Now, this one has a variety of forms, including an incomplete possible final form, but when it is in its fourth and most familiar form, it is 118.5 meters tall, 333 meters long, and 92,000 tons. So, almost as heavy as the other Godzilla, with about a third of the height. Now, we come to the American interpretation with the infamous legendary MonsterVerse Godzilla from the 2014 Godzilla, and who will return in 2019 for Godzilla King of the Monsters. The prehistoric amphibious reptile comes in at 109 meters tall, 168 meters long to his spiky tail, and comes in at 90,000 tons. Now, from here on, we get into a lot of various incarnations of Godzilla, and rather than go movie by movie by movie for about 50 plus years of film, I'll just pick a few representatives of each era. But before we get to them, let's get through some honorable mentions. We have the Dark Horse Comics iteration, that is a giant irradiated amphibious reptile that is 100 meters tall, 200 meters long, and weighs 60,000 tons. The Marvel adaptation, who is an irradiated prehistoric amphibious reptile that is shrouded in much mystery as it only states that its height is 184 meters tall. The Big Green Godzilla from the 1978 animated series, who again is another mystery, coming in at 122 meters tall and weighing 500 metric tons. Very light. And last, but not least in my eyes, the infamous irradiated iguana, the Geno from the original 1998 TriStar film, Zilla from Godzilla 98, who is 55 meters tall, 90 meters long with the tail, and weighs 500 tons. Now, let's keep going back, starting with Final Wars Godzilla. This irradiated prehistoric amphibious reptile stands at an even 100 meters tall and 100 meters long with a light and agile 55,000 metric tons in mass. Next is the Godzilla of the Kiryu saga, who is 55 meters long and weighs only 25,000 metric tons. Following that is the GMK or Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah Godzilla, who was formed as the collective spirits of World War II victims, standing only 60 meters tall, 85 meters long, and 30,000 metric tons. Going further back is the Heisei Irradiated Godzilla Soros that reaches 100 meters in height and 140 meters in length and comes in at a 60,000 metric ton mass. This one is special as he has a lot of other minor details like the circumferences of just about every part of his body. Now, we have the Showa species, who is 50 meters tall, 105 meters long, and weighs 20,000 metric tons. This one as well having very specific circumferences visible. And finally, the original hydrogen bomb monster of 1954, the first king of monsters, the OG, who stands at 50 meters and weighs 20,000 metric tons. So, going from the newest to the oldest and in a way the biggest to the smallest, almost, we also see in the descriptions may have impacted that size as well. A lot of these refer to him as an irradiated prehistoric amphibious reptile of some sort, which seems to possibly limit his growth. But with the newest incarnation being an organism similar to a plant, it seems that he grew almost kind of like a kudzu, except he stomps around and shoots electrical beams. What we can take away from this is that, in a funny way, with a lot of the older Godzillas being unintentional byproducts of man's negligence with radiation, if left to its own devices, nature will produce its own insane monstrosity that dwarfs anything we can come up with. The more modern Godzillas seem a lot bigger and more aggressive, being more so forces and responses of nature. So let me know, do you think it's weird how stupidly huge Godzilla has gotten after ruling the planet for 20,000 years? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Hybrid Network. Also, check out our website and Patreon for more content. I'm Will, and I'll see you next time.